Good evening, everybody. How are you all doing today? It's me, Mr. Flynn, and we're back for round number 7 here at COTA, USA. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I'm absolutely so excited for this round this evening because it's COTA. Lots of possible overtakes to happen at this circuit, as we could talk about potentially overtake opportunities on the exit of turn 10 down to turn 11 down to turn 12. You know, we could get some cheeky overtakes in 16, 17, 18, but they aren't usually happening there. Maybe to 19 to 20 and then 20 down to turn number 1. Who knows? Also, bear in mind as well, two lovely DRS zones. One on the, I believe it's turn number 11 down to turn 12 is your first dose of the rear wing. And then from turn 20 down to turn 1 is your second dose of the lovely DRS. And I don't know what it is. Like I said a few minutes ago, COTA is one of my favourite tracks on the grid for this season. And then obviously for round number 8, it's going to be an interesting one because it's China. And China's known for its very heavy tyre wear, shall we say. But COTA is similar to that because the tyres here at COTA have how hot it is on circuit and the track temperature. Yeah, that can really start to show tyre wear significantly. But we are going to get the lobby sorted out in a few moments' time. It was all set up and, you know, ready to go, but there were a few technical issues. So they have restarted it, so Tier 1 will be slightly delayed as we are talking. And it looks like everybody is leaving that lobby. So I think there's another potential lobby refresh restart. Bear with chat. I'm going to see what the outcome is and see what's actually going on. So do bear with me. Oh, I've now received a new invite, so yeah. We're moving over to a new lobby. Here we go, in the new one now, so I'm not too sure what the technical problem is, but if anybody watching knows what the issue is, feel free to let me know down below, and we can have an insight on what on earth is going on. But yes, like I said, COTA for this evening, and we could have a chat about Tier 1, especially the standings in Tier 1. I would bring up my screen right now, but unfortunately, I didn't get it set up in time. But what I can tell you, with the top 3 right now in the championship fight, and we're on only round number 7. In P1, we have the Mercedes driver, Math, with a total of 190 points. Mano in P2 on 141. So there is still a possibility that, you know, Mano could catch up to the Mercedes driver. But obviously it just depends on how well their racing goes. And then Hazer in that P number 3 slot, 129 points. So, as we all know, everybody scores points from P20 all the way up to P number 1, but the most points are scored in the top 10 and towards the top 5. And then if you really want some extra bonus points, the top 3 is where you need to be. Of course, as well, I believe you get a point for pole position. So yeah, lots of points up for grabs, and Hazer ain't too far away from Mano, so there could be a championship fight for a potential P2. If they can catch P1, that is another story, because Mercedes driver in P1 is on a different level and in an alternate universe, shall we say. You got Pooch as well in P4 on 128 points. There is a 1 point difference between P4 and P3, and then yeah, so it just goes, I wouldn't say downhill, but the points obviously get lower and lower as we go down because of drivers obviously retiring from the session if they don't want to continue, or they might have been involved in a collision or a crash which requires them to, you know, retire, shall we say. Looking elsewhere at the moment, I can't see anything different apart from apart from the combined constructors is what we could talk about. Right now you got Alpine in that P1 spot on 585 points, Mercedes in P2 with 575 points, and then Aston Martin slowly chasing down P2 on 522. P4 is on 519, McLaren on 501, so there could be still a challenge for that P1 spot in the constructors, so we'll see how all top teams in tier 1 get on this evening. And then you got Haas down in P6 on 426 points, with Red Bull probably going to be their closest challenger this season on 377, and then Ferrari ain't too far away on 352, followed by Williams down in P9 on 341. So they aren't obviously that far away from P8 and P7. It just depends how their racing goes as we get on into the qualifying session very, very shortly. Kik Sauber also down in P10 on 276 points. So at the moment, Kik Sauber ain't doing too well, shall we say, points wise, but I believe their drivers are here this evening, so we'll see how they crack on. But yeah, qualifying shouldn't be too long now. We do apologise for the slight delay, but it's only because we had a slight issue with the lobby, so it needs to be restarted, but it seems like it's working, hopefully. But I don't know why, but I'm loving the background music today. It's got that good vibe to it, you know. But yeah. Let me get a few things open up on my screen, and we'll go from there, chat. How about that? Yeah. Lots of excitement to bring on track today. We will move over to the screen in a moment, though, to see how long we shall be waiting. And go from there, chat. Alright? That's what we're going to go from. That's the most info we've got now. Right. Let's pause the music. There we go. And let me scroll down to the main screen. There we go. So yeah, screen is all set up and ready to rumble. We're literally just waiting on those famous, you know, 3 to 4 lights out and away we go moments. But like I say, that shouldn't be too much longer. So we do appreciate all patience at this time. But as always as well, which I'd love to hear from you all, what are your predictions for this evening? Who do you think is going to take that cheeky pole position and, you know, show the field who is da boss? And yeah, like I said, I'd love to hear what your opinions and thoughts are going into this race weekend. It's going to be so much fun. So much fun. Yeah, do bear with us. It should not be, hopefully, too much longer. I also had to double check to make sure I was in spectator mode, and I am, so yeah, we're good. So, yeah, right now, we're just cruising, and we're just chilling. That's all we can do. You know? You gotta be in that sensation groove, you know? Gotta have that good time vibe. We love a good good time vibe. Sort some more things out on my computer whilst we've got the time to do it. There we go. There we go, chat. We're all sorted, I believe. On our end, we're all sorted. Here we go. We've got Pesh and a Hazer ready to go. Does that mean it's officially time to get this stream underway? And, you know, show what the viewers are waiting for, which is some lovely racing action, which we are going to get here for COTA tonight. So get your hats on, get your popcorn, get your drinks as well, and especially, like I just said, get your hats on, because we are getting ready at 8:13 p.m. here in the UK to rumble on with a lovely qualifying session. And as always, see who can top the timing sheets, and maybe another dominant pole position potentially from Mass. Only time will tell with that one. But as we say, patience is key. But the second timer is counting down, so I should probably stop messing around with my Discord and lock in, focus up, get my voice box ready, and see how this is, you know, gonna play out. It's gonna be an interesting one, I could tell you, that's for sure. So here we go, into qualifying then. Ooh, interesting. And I must say, Mr. P did tell me about this in the Discord chat, I believe yesterday, around the evening time, that it may potentially be a wet race, because COTA is known for, you know, its rain here and there on the odd occasions, and we have had a odd occasion. So unlike normal qualifying sessions we had so far this season, it is going to be a wet quali, which is what we love to see, and it just brings more engagement and more driver skill and more excitement, shall we say. So we're going to see who's going to be brave enough to, you know, get out on circuit and show what kind of wet rain pace they've got. You know, as we saw in Tier 2 a couple of rounds ago when they did COTA in the USA, they had a wet qualifying session that went to full wets, to inters, and then right at the flick of it, some did challenge to go on the soft compound tyre, which, I mean, I could be wrong. I think that happened, but I know some of them did try out the inter, which did kind of work and kind of didn't work. So yeah, exactly, Pooch. And exactly, Kingy OG, rain is here. Shout it louder if you want, but cars are getting on circuit. Let's see what we can bring at COTA. And firstly, the pit lane is a Red Bull on the not on the medium, what am I on about? On the inter compounded tyre. And yeah, so Red Bull, a V-carb, and I believe that's an Alpine, all leaving the pit lane right now. And of course, the game's going to be an absolute... what do I say without using foul language on the stream? The game, there we go, the game's being rubbish because it wants to put some drivers down below the top 20, or below the below the 10s. We've got to scroll down. I've got to use my F8 key, which just provides more effort, but hey, it is what it is. Up the coffee. I mean, we could see Koff up into the top 5 because I've been hearing that he's quite good in the wet, so we'll see what kind of performance they could show at COTA for qualifying, which they've now got 15 minutes to get a lap on the board and see where they stand, really. So yeah, see what happens. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, what is it? Is it a wet race too, widget? Is it? Damn. What, rain throughout the whole entire race? Or is it like rain to dry conditions? Damn, that's gonna be the one to watch, I wanna say. That's gonna be a lot of fun. No word of a lie there. We're currently on board with Stevens. Currently down in P15, obviously yet to get a lap time on the board. I do believe that one of the Red Bulls is about to start a push lap, and it's not hybrid. It is going to be Hazer. Getting myself confused already. But on board now with Hazer, making his way down to turn number 1. No traffic in front of him. But for him, as he's the first car on track, he's going to get a feel for the conditions on the inters. And this is the lap where it might not all be smooth sailing. He's just guessing, what curbs can I touch? What curbs can't I touch? What kind of line can I take in the wet? You know, what kind of gears shall I be in? He's gone purple in sector 1, of course, because he's the first driver to set a lap time at the moment. But so far, looking pretty smooth out of the first couple of corners. Now heading towards sector 2 and making his way down to turn number 11, which is a bit of a weird corner, shall I say, because you got to approach it as you're going wide and then turn in. So you cut half of the corner, but then you got to go wide to get a better exit. So yeah, a bit of a weird corner. But now making his way down to turn number 12, then 14, then 13, into a little bit of a very aggressive S section, I like to call it, where it really does show a driver's skill and keeping that car under complete control, where you're throwing it into some left-handers, some right-handers, and then having to get the car back in a straight position to then do the double right-hander here at turn 17, 18, and then towards turn number 19 and 20 we go. So we may actually not see the rear wing open up in qualifying, and especially open up in the race, because I'm being told there's rain in the race. So as we see some lap times on the board right now, it's a 1 minute 45.977, but Bad Boy taking that away. It's a 145.224, and then Stevens are crossing the line of a 1 minute 46.922, and we've got some more Aston Martins starting their laps, and Alpine which will cross the line very, very shortly, but I believe might have invalidated because I believe an Alpine did come out, which it was, I believe, I think it was it Pesh? Can't be Pesh, because Pesh just crossed the line actually. It's currently a Williams 1-2. A 1 minute 45.11 is the benchmark time you want to be setting at this moment of time. Both Hasses on circuit right now. Declan on an outlap. Pace back to where he needs to be in this season, returns at round number 7. Round number 7, and it's great to see him back on track as well. Going to P3, a 1 minute 45.713, so maybe getting a helping hand there from Declan, who's now started his provisional qualifying lap time. I'll go on board of him in a few moments time. We're going to go on board of one of Mercedes, which is about to cross the line. It's going to be Math, our championship leader this season. They cross the line. They do already a 1 minute 44.232, a dominating qualifying, and that's a very strong lap time to show for true top-notch performance. Pooch now starting his qualifying lap time. We do have a few more about to complete their laps, I believe. Mr. P being one of them on a lap right now, coming towards the end of it. Just a few more corners to go in sector 3. Yeah, so we'll keep on board with Mr. P actually, as we're going to get a few more drivers potentially crossing the line or starting a second lap, as some drivers may be fueled up to go a few more laps, as we've seen Iceman cross the line now into P10. Not a great lap time there, a 1 minute 47.252, and both Aston Martins having a poor first lap around this circuit in P10 and P11. Mr. P now about to cross the line, it's P2, it's a 1 minute 44.943. Could we see Mr. P probably challenging his teammate for that cheeky pole position, as King OG only goes up into P10, a 1 minute 46.627. Now starting a potential decent lap time again. We'll see what happens. There's Declan out of nowhere, a 1 minute 44.301 mega lap time there from Declan. I was definitely not expecting to see him up in the top 3, but that's a mega lap time from himself there. We do have Merc on a out lap. He'll be starting his qualifying lap very, very shortly. I believe one of the Mercedes did go again for the potential push lap, and it is going to be them starting their lap now. Pooch up to the line in their Alpine. Where are they going to go on the leading boards? They go to P4 at 1 minute 45.028. We are actually missing a Ferrari on a grid. Just going to be up to Merc to score some really good points on his own this evening. P5, or shall I say P6, bad boy, up by quite a bit on his lap time. He'll now cross the line to potentially take pole position. He does a 1 minute 43.652. Mega stuff there from Williams here this evening, and that shall put them to contention, and maybe a steal of pole position off Mercedes. We'll see what happens. And both Aston Martins still trying to find time on circuit, but ain't finding as much as they want to find, as Iceman starting their lap once again, and Koff really struggling on circuit to get a lap time together. But he's going to go again and see what he can do, as Fake does cross the line. They go to P6, a 1 minute 44.980. So with drivers going on circuit right now, they are definitely finding improvements on track and finding a hell of a lot of time. Declan is I believe going to be starting a lap time, and if my senses are tingling, it does look like Pace is out of fuel, but does make way and give Declan what he needs, and a bit of a slip and a toe down to turn 1. So Haas working together 4th and 5th right now. This is looking really, really good for Haas, as Mr. P is back in the pit lane and currently chilling in P7. We're going to try and go on board with a few more different drivers, but we're going to go on board actually with the Ferrari down in P18, yet to get a lap time on the board. And this is actually looking really, really strong here from Merc. His first lap time, and it's going to be a 1 minute 44.144. So wow, that is absolutely incredible from the Ferrari driver there. So he's got a lot of talent and a lot to show, it seems, this evening, as we have got an Aston Martin crossing the line. It is Iceman. It's going to be a 1 minute 44.926, just creeping into the 44s, but not where he would want to be, which is P8. We've got Hazer now crossing the line to get a lap time started on the board now. We've got a McLaren about to cross the line. Is it an improvement? It is! Wow! It's a 1 minute 43.750. Mega stuff there, splitting the Ferrari and the Williams up there. So it's currently a Williams 1-2. We should get the dominant mass back on track and back on our screens, but has invalidated down in sector 3. Declan out of nowhere. It's a 1 minute 43.083. Mega stuff there. So Pace may have just helped him out with a bit of a toe down to turn 1, but the track really does look like it is ramping up, and you know, it's getting to where it needs to get to. But that is absolutely mega stuff there. Wowzers. How's Kick Sauber getting on? Currently down in P16. It's going to be Ghost starting another push lap, but not the last driver on track, shall we say. So P16 isn't too bad. So let's go aboard with the Kick Sauber, one of them as well this evening. So let's see how they do. Exited turn 1, looking a little bit loosey-goosey on the rear end, we could say, but into the swooping S's now, a 3, 4, 5 and 6 in sector 1, planting the throttle there, drifting the car around, and Bad Boy responding with a 1 minute 42.660. So the track is definitely improving. And Ghost on an improvement here in Sector 1 as he gets very wobbly, shall we say, and almost losing the car, but still keeping it valid. They may have lost a tenth or two out of that mistake, but who knows, because sometimes if you drift the car or you make a massive wiggly moment, somehow the game can find you more time. So let's see. Massive back straight now, down to turn number 12, heading towards Sector 3 in a few seconds time. The switch will happen just about now, and their Sector 2 time, wow, there is second up on their lap time at the moment, so this could be in the top 5, towards the top 3, or whatever it could be, but it's a mega lap here, so we're going to get some decent performance out of this Kick Sauber this evening. Currently down in P16, track is looking like it's ramping up, it's raining less, there's a dry line starting to form. Oh my goodness, did you see the back end absolutely jump out there at turn 18, almost losing the car there, but managing to keep it together. To turn number 19 we go now, and then towards what should I say, sorry, turn 20 now. He crosses the line. It's only P7. It's a 1 minute 43.800, but P7 for the Kick Sauber. They'll be very happy and delighted to be up where they need to be. Right then, Mercedes in P9 on an outlap, wanting to get on to pole position to break up the Bad Boys in P1. Hazer is in P2, and Declan, who's in P3. So mega stuff there from all of these drivers this evening. We have got a few more on circuit, which Fake has invalidated. Also, the Kick Sauber just completed their laps, so they're going to be on a cooldown. Hazer doesn't look like he's on an improvement whatsoever. He's going to go straight back into that pit lane. Yeah, we can see they're going way wide at turn number 19. So back into the pits to chill out for a bit and get back on circuit, potentially in a few moments' time on lesser fuel and a fresh set of a compounder inters. Let's see here. We've got the Aston Martin or having a bit of a snap there. Turn number 11. Same with the McLaren in the background. Let's see how the Aston Martin gets on. Down in P17. Not where he would want to be, potentially. So let's hope that he can find some sort of improvement as we go into Sector 3. Look here. It is purple. It's about 1.5 seconds up on his provisional lap time, which was a 46.7. But let's see what they can do when it gets to the end. And actually, I'm seeing it stopped raining. Oh my goodness, it stopped raining. So are we going to see the cheeky gamble for a wet a new wet compounded tyre like the Inter, or are we going to get a cheeky gamble for some dry tyres? 2 minutes and 30 seconds until qualifying is done and dusted. Is anybody going to take the gamble and go for that dry tyre? Because the track is not having any more rain on circuit, but is it still too damp? Only time will tell. It's a good thing though for the Mercedes, because they're on a outlap, getting those tyres up to temperature, with the track going to get absolutely busy now with no rain on circuit. So let's see what happens here. Only time will tell. I am very scared with what's going to happen here. And trust me when I say that. I am scared to see what happens. But we shouldn't fear. But unfortunately, I'm not seeing the soft tyres on circuit. I mean, if you're down in P12 or P13 or P14... Oh! Hello, Stevens, on that soft compound tyre, but that is looking a bit too wet and a bit too damp, so a gamble which he's taken now, actually. And yeah, look how there's no traction, so Steven, worth a go, buddy. But looks like the track isn't ready for that soft compounded tyre whatsoever. Key as well on the inters. Only looks like Stevens has gone for the brave move onto the softs. Pace as well, though, gone onto the softs. So is it too early? Only time will tell. No more soft compound tyres I'm seeing on screen right now. No, no. Bad boy on the soft, so interesting. Hazer and the Kick Sauber fighting it on circuit right now. But let's go on board a P10. Let's see how P10 gets on. At turn 1, going a little bit wide, but managing to keep it on track right now. Let's see how they get on in the S section of turns 3, 4, 5, and 6. Throwing the car in left, right, and centre over the curbs, as aggressive as you can be. Track is really going to be ramping up. He's already 8/10 of a second up right now. So the problem is here for the Mercedes is there's a whole line of cars starting their lap times. There's going to get no traffic, but the problem is because the track is starting to really improve, this could mean he could lose out on pole position by quite a far margin. And when I say a far margin, I mean a far margin. So it depends. Have Haas taken the right gamble and gone onto the soft tyre at the correct time, or is it still too early? The Mercedes now down at turn 12 towards 13 and 14 we go, chilling in sector 3. 1.9 seconds up right now in the weird S section, you could say, throwing the car in to that left-hander or double left-hander, now towards the double right-hander of turns at 16, 17, 18, and then towards turn number 19 and 20 we continue on. So let's see here. Turn number 19, keeping it on track, still so close to track limits there. Turn number 20 though, keeping the car nicely controlled and within track limits. It's a 1 minute 41.216. Is Fake though going to be able to respond and get up on to pole position? Is it going to be a big ask for the McLaren driver? The Aston Martin has pulled back into the garage. We have got an Alpine about to cross the line now. Is it going to be a pole position for the Alpine crew? It's only good enough, or it's a Williams, sorry, for oh no, it was the Alpine. Only good enough for P10, a 1 minute 43.807. Here comes then Fake in the McLaren, about to cross the line. It's a 1 minute 42.099, fastest in sector 3, but only good enough for P3. P2 is for the Ferrari. Bad boy. He's had a spin somewhere on circuit. The Haas of Declan stays down in P7. Pooch, though, is Pooch good enough to get on pole? They are slowing and they have lost their front wings, so they won't be able to contend and push for anything. What about pace? He has invalidated on his lap time, and the track just looks like it could be good enough now for that softer compounded tyre, or it still looks like it's a bit too damp. But take a bow to Math, taking the gamble early, going out early on circuit to not get any traffic and get any dirty air tolerance, shall we say. But making a point, and it's a 141.216, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, your pole position for this evening, with Merck going out at the right time. Was looking like he could challenge pole, but probably made a few mistakes in a few of the corners. It's a 1 minute 41.786. There you have it, folks. That is qualifying done and dusted completely, and now we will move to the race after a lovely 5-minute break, as always. So there we go, qualifying done, and we're on board with the Ferrari in P2, and I think he'll be very delighted and you know, really happy with that one, because you know, it is what it is. And there you go, celebrations as we get the lovely F1 celebration theme music. It's P1, 5/10 away is P2, and then P3, 8/10, and the gap really starts to open up, because you know, drivers weren't going out on circuit because, you know, they wanted to, or they thought it was okay, but 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. But some of them taking the gamble, going out on track, making a few position gains, and it's P6 and 7 for the Haas crew. Yeah, not much more I can really say, but it is what it is. So that does mean does mean something. What does that mean? Oh, sugar. I forgot what that means. Oh yeah, that means we get a 5-minute break as of right now. Okay. A lovely and juicy 5-minute break. Kingy OG saying, put me back in tier 1 long. I wish it was, you know, that simple. I do miss you in tier 1. I remember watching you, Kingy, actually when I was getting used to this league, and I kept watching Viva. He was doing tier 1 comms, can I just say, goated guy, by the way. And your dominance and overtakes were just so good, shall I say. And it is going to be a torrential wet race start. Yeah. Wet race start. We'll see what can happen. You know, who's going to get the better launch out of one? And, you know, yeah, so we're going to see what happens because I'm excited. Nah, you too quick for us down here. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Who knows? But yeah, yeah, any predictions in the chat, feel free to post in there. And yeah, let me know who you think is going to win at turn 1 on lap 1. And whilst we wait to get ready at 8:42 here in the UK, I'm going to do a few tinkering things in the background because why not? Because why not, chat? Because guess what? I said so. And also another good thing to point out is luckily there is no formation lap, so we can just hop in to watch some incredible, as we always say, racing action at COTA. So yeah, that is a good thing because formation lap, as much I was love to see it, fortunately still broken. And other news as well, if you'd like to know, as we've got a minute until we get ready to go. What are your thoughts and opinions actually on Cadillac joining the grid in 2026 to be the 11th team? So we get 2 more extra cars at the back, or mid pack, or front pack. Yeah, feel free to let me know. What are your opinions on that? Are you surprised? Or did you know that it was going to happen? You know, I'll have to hear what everybody is thinking. Because generally, on my sake or on my behalf, I am quite surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised. Here we go. Sorry. 5 red lights here at USA COTA. Completely forgot about the race starting, and it's lights out and away we go. And it's going to be a decent start from Mercedes up into P1. The Ferrari not getting the best of starts and bogs down in to P2. A few positions gains, or a lot of position gains, changing left, right and centre. And it's Bad Boy who was getting really squiggly out of turn number 2 and dropping actually all the way down to P number 5, and needing to lock in now and get back to where he was with those places. And it allows Fake and Hazer up into 4th and 3rd. And looking at other parts of the grid, Declan down in P11, so not having a great start himself, and Pace as well down in P15, so having an awful start to this USA COTA race. And I need to bring up track map on my screen and stop messing around and getting confused. Hello, Mr. Woody. Good evening, buddy. How are we doing? Hope you're well. We've got a challenger here, actually. It's going to be in the background of the Aston Martin, almost going 3 wide in the background. That's Pesh. Now up into P6, getting ahead of Iceman. And then it's Pooch getting ahead of Ghost, or Ghost getting back at Pooch into the tricky corners now, turns 13 and 14, and then towards 15 we go. They're still going to be side by side, but the Aston Martin will have the inside line. The Kickstabber will look for the switchback and get the switchback done, actually. That was a lovely move. And up into P7 they go. Oh, a bit of lag there in the background. I'm not sure who that was from. We've got Pace and the Aston Martin in 13 and 14, 14th gambling for positions. There is a bit of a gap though starting to build up and open up for our race leader. 1.5 is the gap right now to 1.6 as he sets the fastest lap of a 1 minute 48.013. There we go. I know, right, Vil? Crazy stuff to see Cadillac on the grid, I tell you. It's insane. I wouldn't think it would happen and be possible, but it is. So there we go. There we go. Not much to really say or do at the moment. Expect from Iceman. Expect him to be under pressure now from all the Alpine down into turn 12, going for that dive bomb and makes it up into P number 8, just barely getting ahead of the Aston Martin's front wing there. And I was about to say Haas, as Declan is looking a little bit race pacey, and we go on board with Mr. P, who is under threat and under pressure from the Haas. Into turn number 12 we go, and the Haas just can't get that move done or make that move stick, as we see Pooch now against the Aston Martin defending his position, which is P number 8 as the Aston Martin tries to find a way through. Pesh has left the session, which is bad news for him, because he's going to tumble down the order as he'll be stuck in AI mode. We did see Bad Boy get ahead of the Red Bull there for P4, and Hazer dropping back to P5. Now Bad Boy looking a bit race pacey here, so let's see, is he going to get past Fake in that McLaren before lap 4? Only time will tell, as our race leader commits to lap number 3 towards lap number 4 and races off into the distance, no longer to be seen again. So yeah, big things to look out for as we go on board of Declan and Mr. P. Out of turn 1 to turn 2, all looking a bit loosey-goosey with that rear end. And yeah, Mr. P under humongous pressure here. That was a lovely camera angle we are getting. So we're big up to F124 for showing us some decent camera angles. And that is Pesh falling through the grid order. That's the Kickstabber getting an advantage. And Pooch as well gaining an advantage on that. And this could mean the Mercedes could actually get a cheeky position on the Alpine here, or get close enough to the Alpine to get a position. Oh, not an Alpine, sorry, of Williams. And did Mr. P just run into the back of him because he was in Ghost, came out as a collision object, and then it all changed as that. Oh, Pesh is retired. What? What's happened to Pesh? Retired from the session. Oh, okay. I'm not too sure what's gone on there, but it looks like the Mercedes hasn't got some sort of damage whatsoever. Pooching her up into P6, getting ahead of Filthy Ghost once again. But no, that's unfortunate there. Filthy Ghost has now left the session, and that is another retirement for Williams, and that is not what you want to see. I'm not too sure what happened there, as another fastest lap there, a 1 minute 46.859 for our race leader. And Filthy Ghost is now going to drop through the order, and there's going to be an advantage to Iceman, Mr. P, Declan, and potentially Bam, who is 1.5 away from the top 10. We could go on board with Pace, actually, who's actually got a position done on that Alpine up into turn number 1 towards turn number 2. Oh, drifting out of that corner, though, but still keeping the car under control for P11, so lovely stuff there. And now we're going to see, unfortunately, Filthy Ghost drop out the order. And we've got to see both Hasses potentially work together, which is something that could be a really valuable and good thing, actually, because both Hasses working together, get a move done. The other Hass tries and holds the driver up to the best ability they can, so that the other Hass driver can get through and into that position. So they may try and work together. So we'll see. As we've got a lovely dive there from Rusted Bolt up into P14. We saw that in the background, getting ahead of Kingo G, who's dropping down to P15 and could be dropping down to P number 16, as we see the Red Bull in the background pulling out to the left-hand side, and Ghost is back in the lobby now. And look at this, the Red Bull now up into P15, and Kingo G dropping down to P16. Stevens is the last driver on the grid down in P17, and then Pesh is our early on retirement in this session, and Filthy Ghost still dropping down that order, so hopefully they can get back in AI mode and get back on track and crack on and get back to where they need to be, because they had a really good race start and a few good first laps, and now it's all coming undone. That's all good, Cannon. How we doing, buddy? Welcome on in. Hope you're well. Nice to hear you, buddy. And nice to see you checked in. So how you doing? As you know, the Haas was gaining quite a bit there on the Mercedes for P8s, but couldn't get the move done. Obviously, lap number 5 out of lap 28. Big things to expect. Not so much right now, as we're in wet weather conditions, and that rear wing unfortunately does not seem to be open at all, as we're in wet weather. So like I said in qualifying, I might have jinxed it, which I hope I haven't. We've got almost dry weather towards the end of the race, but that does mean we may not see the rear wing open this race, which would be a first time this season, which is actually really crazy to say that. But what's not too crazy, as you ride on board of Mr. P, pulling out to the left-hand side there, going wheel to wheel almost with the Aston Martin, and it could look like an easy move, but he does back out of it completely. And that's what's a weird corner for me, is turn 12. You can really cut turn 12, but don't try cut it too much, because you could get yourself a track warning on circuit. And is Mr. P going to go for the good old switcheroo, go high, and then slam that car into the left-hand side? Just doesn't have the momentum or the grip right now, and that's good to hear. You're doing well, Mr. Cannon. And Bad Boy is our first driver this race to receive a 3-second time penalty, and our race leader is 4 seconds up the field and is still going faster and faster as this race gets on. The only problem here for Declan, I'm starting to see his frustration. He wants to get this move done and dusted as quickly as he possibly can, but just can't get the move sorted yet. Still stuck behind that Mercedes, so he needs to go for a cheeky good old switcheroo, get a really good exit and burn that battery, or go for a cheeky dive. but a clean dive, if you know what I mean. But right now, this is our closest, you could say, on-track battle, as he looks really fast in Sector 1 compared to the Mercedes, who's not having much pace so far in this race. I understand if it's wet weather, and the setup may not work for this track in particular, but at the start of the season, Mr. P was looking really quick. Like, really, really quick. And, yeah. It's like he's losing that pace, which is quite unfortunate, because Mr. P has got a lot to show. A lot to show. And I know he has, because he's got the pace for it. Just, sometimes makes a slight error you wouldn't see on track, or, you know, gets damage or gets involved in other contact that isn't his fault. But I guess it's all just part of hard racing, but hopefully he'll get past this Aston Martin very, very soon, get up into P7 and then close down the gap to P6, which is around about 3.8 of a second. Your top 3 right now, or should I say your top 4 really, because P1 has checked out, and you could say see ya later, sunshine. Bad Boy about 6 tenths away, Fake 3 tenths away from the Ferrari, and the Ferrari's got no one in front of him, so he's got a clear track, clear air to run away and fight through. That is going to be a bit of dirty air though for the McLaren and the Williams, because they're getting so close to each other. Bam, making a move up into P11 against the Aston Martin, who drops down to P12. Look at that though, all taking different lines, hitting the curb where they want to hit it, drifting it off some of the corners. And look at that, look at the Williams, a Bad Boy, getting a lovely exit off of turn number 8 towards 9, heading towards turn number 11 now. No one thinking of the cheeky dive, bit of a rear end tap from the Williams there to the McLaren, saying hiya. I'm there in the background, going for that move very, very soon, and that Williams may go for that move very, very soon. Turning on the battery, burning it all the way to the brim, heading towards turn 12. They're pulling to the left-hand side, and they're not going for that move. They're tucking in right behind the McLaren. The McLaren didn't even move at all, just stayed behind that Ferrari to get the toe, get the slip, and have the straight line speed advantage, so the Williams could burn all its battery and not get that move done. Declan now in P9. Like I say, not improved on position yet, still stuck behind the Mercedes as we go into the tricky S section now, a sector 3. And it doesn't look like he's going to set up a good old switcheroo. Just go a little bit wide there, which does kind of send him offline, but not by a massive margin. And yeah, so I want to see what Declan's like at turn number 19 in turn 20, and it looks okay. 2 tenths away out of turn 20 with the Haas on board. Yeah, he gets a mega exit because he's like almost on that rear end of that Mercedes, but he's burning the battery once again. Oh, he is going to go for the move, maybe. Does lock the rears and the fronts, but the Mercedes goes a little bit wide and drifts wide. Declan is going to try and stay side by side, but doesn't have the momentum or the grip. But in sector 1, he has sent that Mercedes offline at turn 1 and really piling the pressure now as the Aston Martin and Iceman trying to run away from this. That does mean the Mercedes won't get much of a helpful tow, but is starting to reel and gain back on the Aston Martin up front, with the Aston Martin in a very poor sector 1. You can see it's so slippery out of sector 1 to sector 2. Into turn number 11 now, on board of the Haas still. Just gets such a good exit, but can't build that momentum. Does turn on that battery again, though. Is the Mercedes burning? The Mercedes is also burning. So it is trying to defend his position. Declan gaining and getting a tow that he wants to get. Heading towards turn number 11 now. They're going to be side by side. Just want to get a better camera angle. I do make, I believe, slight wheel-to-wheel contact. Declan trying to go around the outside here and hang about. The Mercedes saying, you know what? This ain't happening. I'm keeping this speed, but does have a bit of a snap of oversteer or something like that. And unfortunately, does lose out to Declan, who gets up into P8, and Mr. P dropping to P9. So it looks like the Mercedes driver is struggling in these wettish conditions. Now Declan Iceman ahead of him. Iceman not looking race pacey at the moment, so this could be an easy pass for Declan to, you know, get himself up into P7, but also try to recover that battery as well. As we now see Rusted Bolt make his way up into P number 12 now against the Ghost, who does seem to be back in the lobby, but has a lot of work to do to get as much as valuable points as he possibly can. Yeah, so it's all going on, chat. It's all going on. It's absolutely chaotic, and it's absolute carnage right now. So, yeah. What can we say, chads? Wow. Lovely racer we get this evening. Don't normally expect it in Tier 1. And we have actually had Filthy Ghost go off track because of all the carnage of wheel-to-wheel contact here in Tier 1. But this is some lovely racer we're getting. Nice and calm, you know, nice and relaxed. All good. Like I say, all good in the hood, chat. As we're still on board with Declan, who's getting really close to the Aston Martin. We'll come back to him in just a few moments. We do see in the background a fight going on for P number 11. Rusted Bolt trying to go around the outside here and try and hang it if he can, but can't get that move done with Math a 1 minute 45.534, 6 seconds up the road now. That's V-Carb maybe starting to struggle on its tires, maybe potentially, but they're in P12 for now. Was looking like they might get into P11. Let's see what their exit is at turn 20 down to turn 1. Oh, they're close, they are, as Declan makes a move up into turn 1 and gets right ahead of the Aston Martin now. He's got a chunky gap to close down. Just 3.8 of seconds to close. Due to his pace, I think he can do it, as we have our second retiree of the session, which is going to be the Kick Sauber of Ghost, and Sauber sadly will not be scoring any points at all, and he does also leave the session, so Sauber definitely not getting any points. Declan there going fastest in sector 1, so the track does look like it's starting to get lighter with the rain and starting to improve. Learning from his life lessons of spinning on circuit, on corner exits especially, and entrances, turning on that battery at the wrong time, and you know, spinning. Doesn't want to make those errors, so he is going to just chill out for now, as Pace is still stuck behind the Mercedes, having the same sort of troubleshooting issue that Declan was experiencing, but hopefully we'll find a way through shortly, as Bam and Rusted Bolt still going at it. Rusted Bolt, a car's with ahead. Oh, front wing contact there, and it is going to be the Alpine losing out on that, and may struggle to turn the car in the left-hand corners, and is going to be struggling quite a bit, and that is going to be an easy move there for Rusted Bolt, and up into P number 11 he goes. Now, it can get a little bit boring when rain makes its way into play, okay? It can get a little tad boring, but it's not like it's the end of the world, shall I say, when it comes to rain, because it can, you know, show a lot of excitement, and that excitement is Pace into the pit lane now. Fresh set, intermediate tyres on to the Haas. Down in P16, I would say that's probably an early stop for the Haas driver, but free air, P16, knows he's going to gain on a lot of positions, because obviously drivers have still got a box and he's the first one to respond, but free air, fresh set of inters, bang out some decent lap times, and he should be a-okay, as we see Bad Boy really getting close to the McLaren. The McLaren doing the same thing and responding, and not going for the overtake on the Ferrari. Was just hoping the Ferrari was quick enough, and it looks like he was, and also getting that useful toe off the Ferrari as well. Gaps though really starting to build up now, and oh, here goes Mr. Bad Boy. Contact though, big shunts there, And it is the McLaren receiving the worst, you could say, of contact. They're still going to hang it around wheel to wheel around this lovely circuit. Still trying to find a way through. Bad Boy is. But was that a little bit too tad aggressive from the Williams driver towards the McLaren driver? The McLaren doesn't seem it's got any wing contact damage, as we're going to get a front camera view, and it doesn't look like he's got any sort of damage whatsoever. Bad Boy, is he making the lunge? No, he's not. He stays behind for now. I must say, though, incredible stuff, and shout out to Declan, you know. I said that gap was 3 point something, 3.7 I think it was, a lap. And Declan has absolutely destroyed that. 2 seconds is the gap. And hardly has any battery, but you can show he's been pushing. So he's definitely got pace to show this evening. With our second driver getting a penalty. It is Highbird down in P13, as we see Bad Boy finally getting up into P3 against the McLaren. Yeah, I am thinking that both of them got lucky with that contact, but it's now a switcheroo. And what's Fake going to do in response to the contact with the Williams? Is he going to keep it civil, or is he going to get aggressive? Only time will tell. But for now, nothing crazy happens, as we see that's Pace going for a move there on Kingy OG. Now, I didn't see much there, but did Kingy OG go off circuit, or was he on a fresh set of tyres? He's on an old set of tyres, so he must have had some sort of spin or contact, because there's no way Pace has caught up that quickly, but I could be wrong if he has. What is going on my thing? There we go, that's what we needed. Sorry, chat. Mr. Flynn got slightly confused on what on earth he was pressing and doing there. But Pace showing some really good performance and pace on that tyre. Let's see what happens as the laps boil down. Because the main problem he's now approaching is traffic, which he doesn't want to approach. But we've got Hazer and Pooch into that pit lane. But what has surprised me, Hazer going on for a fresh set of tyres. Yellow flag, someone has spun around and stopped on circuit. And it is going to be the Williams of Bad Boy, I believe, having that snapper spin or whatever it was. And now in P4. And yeah, that's not great stuff there. It's Bad Boy, oh my goodness, gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Losing the car though. Managing to keep it under control. And Pace down in P13. Stuck in traffic. But actually, if I am correct, which I ain't, but I am, realistically, Pace 2 laps on his inters, Red Bull ahead of him on an old set of tyres, but the driver ahead of the Red Bull is Pooch, who's on a fresh set of inters. So you could say, and some may say as well, that Pace has, you know, closed down the gaps a little bit. And look at the exit difference and look at the grip difference between these two drivers against the Haas and the Red Bull. Up into P11 now, and the Haas down to P13. Pushing it too much from a previous mistake, maybe? It could be indeed. I wouldn't be too surprised, but Bad Boy, that's not good news for him, because he has that penalty as well. So that could indicate that could be a problem. But any more drivers going to take the gamble and into the pit lane is going to be Bad Boy. Yes, Bad Boy's in. Followed by the Aston Martin of Iceman as well. Bad Boy really going to drop down the order here, I want to say, after having that moment there on circuit. And maybe the Haas as well getting ahead. We do not know confirmation. Where's the Haas? There's the Alpine making its way up to turn 1. The Williams does exit behind the Red Bull of Hazer. And behind him is Pooch. And in the background, we've got the Haas, who was going wheel to wheel with Bam, who has just come out on pit exit. No, they're on old set of tyres. So it looks like they're waiting it out for the rain, but this is really good stuff for Pace, because he's starting to close down on some of the drivers who are like in the top 5 or in the top 3 or in the top 1. So yeah, he's finding that pace, finding that time is really, really good stuff. Hello, Simply. How we doing, man? You alright? Hello, Gand. Hope you're well, buddy. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well as we see Bad Boy in P7 now. Trying to get past that Red Bull, which is slightly holding him up at now turn 12, shall we say. Heading towards the S section. The Williams trying to find a way through, but the Red Bull really putting his lap time to a stoppage here. And defending like crazy. Oh, the Williams there, almost into the back there. And that could have been some very fragile wing damage. And now Merc and Fake into the pit lane. Where is this going to all unfold? Was it a bad call from Bad Boy to box? Even though he had that moment, is he still going to get ahead of the McLaren and the Ferrari? He doesn't. He's nowhere near. But look at this wheel to wheel now with the Red Bull into turn 1, and the Red Bull has nothing to fight with anymore. Look at the Alpine in the background at turn 1, trying to get the move done and dusted as well on the Red Bull and try and get it dispatched as soon as possible with Fake in P3, and that Ferrari still in a comfortable P2, and our race leader has not entered that pit lane yet. 26.4 seconds is the gap because of second pitting. So we'll get a different gap change once we know when that Mercedes is heading into that juicy pit lane. But our main focus could be here. Only because pace difference wise. So only time will tell, and only the difference will make, as we have got yellow flags somewhere, and that is going to be, I believe it might have been Rusty Bolt making that slight mistake, because he's got Aston Martin and Stevens behind him, so I believe it was actually going to be Rusty Bolt making that big mistake and losing them a couple of seconds in a couple of moments. So yeah, not the smartest thing if you're making mistakes out on circuit, but it's all a part of racing. And it wouldn't be fun if there were no mistakes and, you know, just pure dominance. But it ain't the end of the world either. Up the Merc, indeed. Dominating in P1 right now. 25 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Bad Boy, a 1 minute 44.545. So really showing true pace on circuit right now. And showing pure dominance. So, as always, that's what we love to see. Good stuff there from the Williams team. Right, Mr. P into that pit lane now, and still waiting if he's going to come out on pit exit. But has he taken up some sort of damage? Because he is still in that pit lane, and now just gets released and is down in P14. So did he have front wing damage himself? If so, that is not great. That will be really hurting and hindering his race as he comes back out on circuit in P15. Oh, and a snap there. Like I said, there's a slight error out of turn 1 on cold tyres, which shouldn't be cold. They should be nice and warm. And like that, those moments can happen. Declan, though, switcheroo up into P7, getting ahead of his teammate. Both Hasses working together there with our race leader, just entering that pit lane now. And the Ferrari of Merc will make his way to turn number 19 and then towards turn number 20. But there's nothing the Ferrari can do, because Merc, after probably having a, sip of coffee or a nice cup of tea, is comfortably going to come out right ahead. And it is a 1 minute 44.344 with 8.9 or 4.7 to spare. Goes a little bit wide at turn 1, a little bit deep. But, like I say, ain't the end of the world there, is it? As Declan, 1 minute 43.337. So really showing some pace out on track and already broken a second to his teammate. down in P8. Gaps though really starting to open up. So overtakes starting to wind down and starting to, you know, slow down, and the racetrack with gaps like this, you know, starting to get quiet. But we're on board with the Red Bull down in P6, you know, trying to fight for P5 now. And is he gonna go for the cheeky dive into turn number 12? No, they don't go for the move there, but they are looking a bit race pacey and may try and get into P5 very, very shortly. Yes, all I can say for now. Like I say, the racing action for overtake wise is starting to slow it down. But with the way things are going, the Mercedes will look like to extend its championship lead in the driver's standings, and Fake as well gaining on a few points. But every time he's in P3, that Mercedes is just building a safer, we could say, pit window. Or I would say pit window, or maybe a pit window. It's a bit like a pit window. The gap starts to open and creep open slightly more, and that's what's happening in the point system difference now. Because if I quickly go to Discord, you will see that screen for a few seconds or a few moments, because I've got to find the Discord and then look for the point system, which is here. So you weren't held on that screen for too long. You still are. There we go. So if we have a look at the point system right now, if we go on board with Fake, you know, they're down in P3. They ain't really gaining on P2. They are a little bit. Actually, never mind. I'll take it back. They are gaining on P2, but not at a substantial rate. But as the way things stand, he's currently in P3, which gets him a total of 27 points. Right, that Mercedes in P1 is on 35 points. So if it stays the way it stays, they're just going to keep opening that gap and running away with the championship. As look at that again, domination. A 1 minute 43 is your lap time to beat. Shows true performance and true solid hard racing pace. And what has surprised me now is Hazer has lost a few tenths in the last lap or two. Let's just close Discord on that screen. Has lost a few seconds or tenths, but has gained quite a bit in sector 1. Never mind, 6 tenths now. So they found quite a chunk of time. And Fake now starting to show true pace with 3.1 away. So something's happened at McLaren HQ. They're starting to push. They're starting to put the afterburners on now. So yeah, it's all going on right now. All going on. But if Hazer wants to get up into P5 and then try and hunt down P4, who's got a 3-second time penalty, they need to make that move now, because I know Hazer's got a lot more pace than this to show. A lot more pace to show. Trust me when I say that. But Declan as well, showing a lot of true pace and true form here. Down at P7, really starting to gain on P6. 1.4 away now. Maybe it could be 1.3 away, which they are 1.3 away now. So incredible, incredible the domination, you could say, from the Haas, reeling and reeling like the lap time in and the seconds in, lap by lap. Incredible stuff there. Incredible, incredible. But we could see Declan join this spicy battle very, very shortly as they make their way through Sector 2 now. And Declan only 1.2 away now. About to be 1.1 now. So, yeah, like I say, all switching up. What times am I doing at Baku? Depends. What times do you think I'm doing? And do I want to say what times I'm doing on Baku? Do I want to say? Do I want to give away and hint away? You know, who knows? Maybe I want to keep that information confidential, you know? 8 more laps of racing to do. And looking very dominant for Mercedes. What times? I mean, I don't mind sharing. I mean, I'm at the benchmark of a 39.5, if that helps. That's my benchmark. 39.5. That's what I'm doing, if you'd like to know. The MM's here? Oh, here goes Declan in that background. Good job to the helicam for showing us a decent onboard. And oh, he's going in. He's going for it. Turn 11. Gets that move done. And certainly right they do. Up into P6 they go. The Red Bull, though, trying a switch back. Could all play out. And it doesn't. And that Haas does stay in P6, which is some lovely stuff there. And that is Pooch going to that left-hand side to collect some water, you could say, off of that tyre. Because why not? I already said on stream. A 1 minute 39.5. Those are lap times I'm doing. That's my benchmark. There you have it. 1 minute 39.5. Nah, that's all good. No worries, buddy. No worries. I hope that helps. Yeah, so Hazer, unfortunately, getting overtaken there. And Declan, leaving him in the dust, really. And, oh, bit of lag there. Oh, no, those are the tires. Oh, what do you mean? What times on dry tires? That is the time on dry tires, Canon. Those are the times I've been setting. Go on dries. Am I doing a bloody 39.5 in wet tires? That'd be... Whew. Goodness me. If I was doing 39s on wets, I'd be shocked. Like, damn. Why am I? You know? I'd be out of my head, out of my mind if I was, you know, doing those sorts of lap times in wet conditions. If that's even possible, then it goes to show I'm slow at Baku, but wowzers. But any more helpful tips you might need, I'm happy to offer. So there you go. Don't worry, Flynn. Parkour sandbagging. You're a second faster than my TT time. Damn. Parkour sandbagging, imagine. I think that deserves a rightful ban from tier 2, you know. I'm only joking. I don't want to start any wars on stream, so we're going to keep it civil. But imagine sandbagging. Oh my days. You should be tier 1. There you go. Anyways, back to the racing action. We're on board with Declan still because it's our closest on-track battle. I say that, and I've seen Mr. P down in P14 trying to get into P13, but is 4 tenths away to 3 tenths away now. So, yeah. Mr. P could be on for a decent move here. And there's somewhere heading into turn numbers 2 to 3. So yeah. We're close to my times. Damn. That's good to hear. Right, just so I'm not going crazy or bonkers. The person I'm speaking to now, is it parkour? If so, I'm being really dumb. But if it isn't, then I'm getting confused, but who knows? It's Flynn. I'm always confused. But yeah, Mr. P having a fight down at P13 now. With all the Alpine there and having a bit of bargy contact into sector 3 now, turns 15 to 16 to 17. Still going, you know, wheel to wheel. And it's, you could say, a little bit scary because there could have been a spin, there could have been a crash, but they all come out alive. All alive, which we love to see. To lap number 25 we go now? Oh, sorry, we're on lap 24 or 28. Not parkour? Ah, okay. Just wanted to triple check. So I was getting a bit confused. Oh, Declan making a move in sector 3 up into I was gonna say P6, but P5 now, and a bit of bargy contact there. Would the Stewarts look into that one? Who knows? But most importantly, Haas into the top 5 now. 9.5 is the way it goes from 5th to 4th, but Bad Boy has a 6-second time penalty, so if Declan has a dominant pace at the circuit, they've got 26, 25, 26, 7, about 3 to 4 laps to go. Can they close down the lap time and get to 6 seconds to gain another extra position on track? I say they can, but it's a lot of pressure, but maybe not, as Bad Boy picks up another time penalty, and that drops up to 9 seconds. So Declan in a primary position for P4 now. It is, Woody's saying. Wow. I'm now being lied to as well. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable scenes as well. I'm going to cry in a corner now. Lynn's gonna cry on stream. Why not? Because I'm being lied to. Like, ouch. Ouch indeed. But enough of my whinging. There's still not much going on right now. Well, there was, and now there isn't. So Mercedes and P1 will take us to lap 26 out of 28. And after that lap will be the penultimate lap of the race. But yeah, so right now, as we say, and must say, Bad Boy 1.5 away from Fake, so those two might get into a cheeky little battle, which might allow them to fight quite a bit and squabble for position, and then allow Declan to close up and get P4 and maybe P3. But it might be a big push and a big ask, but who knows? Only time will tell. No, it's looking quite quiet on circuit right now. And we could say as well that we have got Mr. P down in P12, who actually just got past the Red Bull. Well, it might have been Bird actually fighting Mr. P, but having to back off now. You asked for the rain, Flynn. This is you. I mean, I just wanted a bit of rain to spice it up, you know. Adds a bit of thrilling. Adds a bit of thrill and excitement. But there we go. Penultimate lap of this race. And the race leader has been cooking all race long as they make their way to turn number 12 and then towards 13 and 14 and so on. Do one more lap of racing, bring it in, calm down the tempo, and take another dominant win once again. Because, as we say, why not? It's a bit of fun, if you ask me. It's a bit of fun. But there you go. Starting the final lap of this race. And Declan is 6.6 away, so really within striking distance of taking P number 4. Can they take P number 3? Not close enough. I could try my best to do that if you want, but see. But here we go. As we can see, the Mercedes making his way now through turns 13 and 14 in Sector 3. Now heading towards 16 and 17 very, very shortly, making his way through the double left-handers, sliding that car around, and then towards the double right-handers of Sector 3, to then make his way to turns number 19 and 20. I must say, and some will say, it's been a dominant victory and a dominant drive from Mas here today. He'll take the win in Texas for Tier 1 once again. Dominant drive and dominant performance. Mr. Ferrari driver will come in P2. And he'll be very happy with that one, Mr. Merck will be. Fake will come home in P number 3. And the Mercedes in P1 will extend his championship lead ever so much more, with Bad Boy finishing P4. But Declan to cross the line to take that away from the Williams and make that P4 for Haas today. Pooch will come home in P6. And then Hazer crossing the line very, very shortly. And we've got a spicy battle happening in the background, which isn't over just yet. But I say that a Red Bull, a V-Cub, sorry, and an Aston Martin come together. And that is Pace losing a position to the V-Cub on the line. And the Aston Martin actually in the wall at the line. And actually going to reverse as well to the line to come home in P10. And then Mr. P making his way around the final couple of corners with a Aston Martin hot on his tail, and yeah, around the final corner it will take P11, and the Aston Martin will come in P12, and P13 for Bam, Red Bull P14, and then Stevens to finish it off in P15. There we have it, folks. There we have it. There we go. So, that was world class. Right then, so we are done and dusted for this evening. Feel free to, you know.
Do you know what that was? That was a smooth operator.
To tune in for Tier 2 tomorrow. That'll be starting at 8 o'clock UK time. And they'll be racing at the lovely circuit and the lovely streets of Baku. Oh my god, it sounds so confusing hearing this and hearing the actual game audio. Oh my goodness. But yes, that is us done and dusted for this evening. And join us tomorrow for Tuesday, tier number 2 at 8 o'clock UK time. And then Wednesday for tier 3. Okay, join us then. That's going to be me, Mr. Finner, signing off, but we'll let those soundboards and alerts play, because why not?
Yes, confirmed.
Is the trick? Is it on now? Okay, I'm not.
We forgot to connect, Jimmy. You will not.
Through goes Hamilton. We love to see it.
Is it on or not? The trick?
No, Jimmy.
No.
No, you will not have the.
No. It says switch on or not.
You mean the slow?
No problem, Woody.
It's
No
not
problem.
drinking. Is it emptying the bottle or not?
No, Jimmy. No, you will not have the drink.
Breeze past, they're going wheel to wheel towards Vale now. Who's going to be last on the brakes? Leclerc has that inside line. Perez goes off the track, cuts the chicane. Off goes Leclerc. Through goes Hamilton. Unbelievable stuff coming out of the final.
I must say that race was absolutely mental, by the way.
Hamilton says thank you very much.
Through goes Hamilton. Was not expecting that one.
I am stupid. I am stupid.
Right. Is that us done? Oh no, we've still got this one to go. Right then, that's us done and dusted. I'll catch you all next Monday for round number 8 at the Circuit of China. But from me, Mr. Flynn, I'm signing off, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Make sure to join us tomorrow for Tier 2. Bye-bye at 8 o'clock.